guys, my car is tripping the F out, dude. We are taking care of the cooling. I don't really have many words to say. We ran into some big issues. The car started overheating. It was leaking fuel. This sucks. What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's vlog, we are taking care of the cooling on the 86, you guys. These cars run hot, and I'm talking about even stock this car can run hot. Like the oil temps at some point when I was driving and it was a super hot day, I'd see it go up a little bit and then it'll come back down, and that was stock. So now that we're turboed, you guys, if this is you guys' first time to the channel, we have been building this car for the past 2 years, and this is where we're at currently. We had done some performance mods recently. We are one of the first handful people to turbo the GR86 and to be pulling like big power with this car. So one of the big problems we've been having with this car is not only the fueling, which I'll get to that in a moment if you guys have been watching the other vlogs, but also the cooling. So one of the big things that you should probably do, and I think this is just probably for any car, is the supporting mods when you're doing performance mods, you guys. So I'm like quickly starting to understand how important it is, you guys. If you guys have been watching the past vlogs, you guys will know that our oil temps and our coolant temps have just been skyrocketing since we added the turbo. The turbo generates just a lot of freaking heat. We do have some things that have been helping out, but it still gets pretty hot. Like we have parts that are coated for the heat resistant. We also have the vents in our hood, which also releases a lot of the hot air. We still have the stock radiator. One thing I didn't know about this car as well, we were looking at it the other day and we were like, why is this kind of like sandwiched almost? And that is because it actually comes with a stock water coolant. Like don't quote me on that, but I think that's why it's a little bit thicker, because in the first gen it's not like that. Me and my buddy kind of confirmed that. So today we have the Colorad radiator, and we also have the thermostatic Kishimoto oil cooler for the 86. Now big shout out to my boy Oscar. He actually allowed us to take over what he already had, and like I said, don't judge me, all right, you guys. I'm not made out of money, and this was a really big issue, and he just so happened to have all this. The oil cooler is fairly new. This is probably like a year and a half old or so, but no leaks or anything like that. I will eventually get newer parts, you guys. I mean, the oil cooler is pretty new, but the radiator I probably will get newer later on. Like I said, because I'm not made out of money and I really just needed this car to cool down, especially for all the things that we kind of have going on, back-to-back weekends and everything, it needed to be addressed now. Like if you guys have been watching the past vlogs, we went to Vegas and we had some issues over there driving like 4 hours like consistently within these temperatures. So definitely I hope everything goes well, you guys. You guys know how it goes when you do installs on this. I already have the car with the bumper off because that just saves us some time. So I believe the radiator is here in between the fans and everything. I probably am going to have to take this part off, this section off as well. Maybe the intake. We have our Colorad intercooler. The JDL Auto Kit comes with a Colorad intercooler, so which is pretty cool that we get to match it up with the Colorad radiator. But one problem I'm gonna be having, honestly, is where the heck am I gonna mount this thing? Because originally it's supposed to mount somewhere here in this general area, and you come down here and it drops or whatever, but we have the front mount intercooler, so where are we gonna put it? I'm not too sure, you guys, honestly, but we'll figure it out right now. Anyways, let's go ahead and disassemble this and see where we're gonna be able to kind of fit in the radiator and then the oil cooler. All right, you guys, so I figured while we wait for this coolant to currently drain, I kind of just would walk you through a little bit where we're at. So took the front bumper off, then we had to take off the under shrouds right here, the little plastic covers that are basically protecting the bottom of the radiator, and I took off the cap. Make sure your car is cool before you guys take this off. And then we pulled the hose, and I pulled it out of here, and I used that hose right here on that plug right here. And then there's this yellow part, which is this here, and onto the side, and you're gonna loosen this up, and then it should start to drain out after that. Like I said, put most of it in here. After you've done that, then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take off this assembly here. I don't know if I have to, maybe I don't have to take this off, because I know if you're stock, the intake is coming over here, you have to take the intake off. But since ours is going over here, I don't know if we have to take ours off. So hopefully I can avoid that. But for sure we have to take the radiator part off, and then we're gonna have to take the radiator hose right here off as well. So after much struggling, and I'll tell you guys why in a moment, we got the OEM radiator out. So check how skinny this is, and then just look at the difference between this one. You can already tell, like, look at that. Sheesh. So it's not like a crazy big difference, but it's a difference, like you can tell. The struggle with getting this off, just mainly that the fan right here, and which is why you see it looking like this, the fan right here actually had gotten melted for when we first had installed the turbo kit, and after that they did their first test run, and I guess it was getting so hot that this pipe right here melted the plug. So this plug right here, as you guys can see, it's like completely like melted together. Yeah, it's, to be honest with you guys, like, I don't really know how we're gonna get this off like later on. I do know that I do plan to update the fans, because I know that there's a smaller, slimmer fan with more amps that like JDL had made for the first gen. So I kind of want to look into that for the future. But yeah, that was one of the biggest reasons why we could not just take it off cleanly. There's actually like a good amount of space behind the bash bar here. Okay, so here is the front, and we already have 2 brackets here that we can utilize. We'll figure it out once we get to that part, but I think we'll be okay, honestly. But now let's go ahead and put this on. Hey guys, so it is currently the next day. I couldn't finish it the other day because I didn't have this fitting for the oil cooler, but we did get the radiator in there, you guys, and I did give it a test drive after we put it in, but we ran into some big issues. The car started overheating, and I couldn't figure out why. The reason why is because I forgot to burp the system, you guys. So definitely when you're putting your coolant back in, you want to make sure that you take out all of the air bubbles in the system. And this process honestly could take like 25, maybe even like 40 minutes. It took me at least 30 minutes to burp my system. But basically you're going to want to fill it up with this. This is a nice tool for you guys to use. It locks it down right here. And then you're going to want to fill it up all the way until it rises until here, and it stays here. And then you're just gonna want to let it, you know, keep burping itself. Let all the air bubbles just kind of keep coming out and out and out. And then after you do that, go in there, rev the engine a couple times to like 3,000 RPMs, and then you're gonna see it drop a little bit. Add a little bit more. Let the bubbles kind of keep running out. This whole process, like I said, takes a cool minute, but it is very simple, but that's very important because it can make your car overheat because, you know, there's air bubbles in the system. So definitely don't forget to do that like I did, you guys. But can I tell you that after I did it, it made a difference? And it did, honestly. It did make a difference in the coolant temps, as well as supporting the oil temps as well. So I'm actually pretty excited about that. One thing that I might have to, you know, that I might struggle with is trying to figure out how to take these fittings off. I hope that they're just like the pull ones, and then just figuring out where it is we're going to actually be mounting the radiator. So I don't know, I kind of saw that there's like some space in between here, and I kind of want to maybe see if I can put it around there. The only other place I can kind of think of is maybe like putting it over here somewhere. All right, you guys, so finally finished, but it was not easy. Shout out to my family for seeing me, feeling bad for me and putting this canopy up because I didn't care about it. But I could not for the life of me find a place to put the oil cooler, so I got it all hooked up, and I got the thermostatic one, so definitely had to take off the stock oil cooler. Like I said, didn't know that we actually have like one that comes with the car, but it sucks. Well, it sucks if you're boosting the car, but anyways, so I thought I could maybe fit the oil cooler down there. That wasn't working. Next best thing I thought was behind the intercooler. So there's this like plastic plug for like your air sensor. I kind of unplugged that, zip tied it, and then kind of used that to kind of like leave it here. So I did already put the plastic vent back on, but it's literally right here, right behind the intercooler. And then I kind of went around here and I got the lines coming up here all the way to right here. So the reason I didn't point these pointing down is because it was so hard to get the fittings to just tighten up. So I was like, you know what, F it, I still got room, let me just put it to the top. So that's what we did. So I did turn it on. Everything seems to be running good. I haven't driven it yet, so we'll find out right now, but I'm currently running a little late. Supposed to be meeting up my boy Dana for this photo shoot and a couple other people, so I gotta hurry. So we're on our first drive currently right now, headed to the photo shoot over in Lake Forest with Dana right now. The car has been a consistent of those temperatures that you see right there. It's actually going pretty well. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I didn't see no leaks when I first turned on the car and was checking everything, cleaned everything up, let it run for a little bit, didn't see no leaks, and then hopped in the car and then drove. So I could be stranded right now in a little bit, who knows. Let's knock on wood, you guys, pray for me that I don't do that. But so far so good. Things are going a lot better. Normally it would be a lot hotter right now. It's about 103 outside, or at least that's what my car thinks that it is. So this is good. These are good numbers. If when we come back, if these numbers are consistent, everything's solid, pretty much the cooling is pretty much done. But then we have to address those codes we were getting for the transmission. We were getting some crank sensor transmission codes, and then we got to address the fueling as well. You guys, my car is tripping the F out, dude. It's saying I'm in reverse right now, and I'm not. I'm in second gear. I'm moving right now. What the hell is going on, dude? Oh my gosh. Like, what? Dude, is this because of the whole crank position sensor synchro thing? I don't know, dude, but at this point I'm like, almost wish I didn't come out, dude. Hold on. Yeah, at this point I almost wish I didn't come out. It's just well, I mean, it was a good test drive for the cooler and the radiator, but this is probably a bigger issue, dude. Like, how does this even happen, bro? Alright, y'all, so we finally got to the spot. I've seen this spot many times, but I didn't know it was over here. But this thing was tripping out. Like you guys saw earlier, it was in reverse when I was in first and second gear. I don't know how the hell like that even happens. I just went ahead and unplugged the battery for a little bit. Hopefully it like goes back to normal on the way home. Even right now parked up, it was having like a steering pump light on, and
he's
like
been driving conservative for the last like 15 minutes, dude. I was like, are you gonna step on it or what, bro?
Yo, this guy's just going around in his V8, you know, around corners, is making noise, letting all these little kids freaking go wild, and then here I am struggling to keep up and shit. So yeah, hopefully it's just you know, the trans sensors, you guys, the crank position sensors, because if not, I'm gonna be afraid. Well, yeah, I don't really have many words to say other than definitely didn't expect this to happen. I mean, as you guys saw the issues, I mean, I guess this was bound to happen. I was hoping we could at least get home, but we are going to be taking the car to Studio RSR like literally right now and just dropping it off. Earlier the car, you guys can't see it, but it was leaking fuel like under the car. How does it even do that? Like, I'm at a loss, honestly. So big shout out to AAA, my guy right here. He came actually pretty quickly, and he has some stuff for a lowered car, which is gonna help us out. It is aired up all the way, but we'll see. This car's never been on the back of a tow truck before. This is literally the first time. You know, just things just keep going on, you know what I mean? But I guess this is, you know, what comes with modding cars, huh? Right, guys? Yeah? Oh my god.
Many hours later.
And we're still here. So I guess you have to, if there's fuel leaking, like we have fuel leaking. I guess it's AAA policy to have the fire station come check your car, see if it's okay for the tow truck. I'm not too sure what happens if it's not okay for them to take. I guess there's also a spray that they could use to kind of close it up. I don't know, but we have to wait for them. And the tow truck guy got like another call, I guess close by, for like a tire change. And then we're still here. Not gonna lie to you guys, this sucks. This sucks. You know, these moments suck. Other moments are, you know, I guess they make up for this moment. But yeah, this one of those sucky moments. Okay, you guys, so it's the next day, and that last clip you guys saw was me dropping off the car at Studio RSR at like 1:30 a.m. in the morning. Just to give you guys like a quick summary rundown of what was kind of going on. So the oil and the coolant temps were actually pretty good all the way there. I'd say that when I was where I was driving to was about an hour and 15 away. So doing all that driving, it was, you know, totally good, like on the freeway and everything. But it wasn't until I got to the destination city that where stuff kind of going haywire, and was in between me being at a street light, and then after I took off on the street lights, when the car kind of, you know, started throwing that VSC sensor light, and then the car was just groggy, very sluggish, like, and then it being in reverse when I was in first and second. That was just such a trip. Like the gears felt good. The gears felt fine when I was shifting. The car just didn't know what it was, and then my brake lights weren't working, and then by the time I came to a complete stop, you know, I had other lights coming on, like the airbag system, the power steering light came on, and then I just had low voltage from what the airbag system was telling me. So it was taking a complete crap. And then later on, when we were at the photo shoot spot, we just smelled fuel, and we looked under, and the fuel was dripping. So I'm not too sure what could have caused this, what is actually going on. I'm pretty sure for sure it's something with, you know, with fueling, but it could be other things as well. We're just kind of trying to figure it out. At that moment, I had called Toby from Studio RSR, and he told me, you know, just bring it, you know, as soon as possible. So I really appreciate him for doing that. And then even everyone else tying in to my IG story, I really appreciate that, you guys. So this sucks, you know, like this is, I guess, you know, what comes a part of doing things like this. And so it's all a learning experience for me. Like I said earlier, in these moments it does definitely suck, but you know, once we're good, right? So it's just kind of figuring things out, getting through these hurdles. Is just in the moment, you know, there's so much going on aside from that, and then it's just been an ongoing thing. I think I just had more or less like, all right, bro, what else can you throw at me? You know, F it, everybody join in, you know what I mean, kind of deal. And so that's kind of how I was feeling, or sometimes kind of comes about when things happen. But I try to stay as positive as can be, you know what I mean? Like, bad things don't last forever. Other better things take, you know, its place eventually. So to kind of give you guys a little bit more of like what was going on that night too, is like the tow truck guy had came, and the car wasn't starting at this point. And then the first tow truck guy, he, you know, was trying to get it on, but then he smelled fuel, and then he's like, oh, it's AAA policy for us not, you know, to have to call the fire department they give us the okay to take the car onto the tow bed. And the guy specifically told me he had a car one time on the bed, and it caught on fire on the bed, and I was like, how? And he's like, I guess they left it on. And I was like, okay, you know. And so, you know, I guess he gets on the phone with dispatch, and they say, yeah, man, they said that they got to call the fire department, blah, blah, blah. Here I am waiting 30-40 minutes for the fire department, while he actually ended up leaving right after he told me that, because he said he was going to go do another job that was close, and hopefully they check it because the fire department is literally close by. Well, when he leaves and I'm waiting, I noticed that the fire department is literally across the street. And I'm over here doing the little texting automated thing, like asking them like, hey, is it coming or whatnot, or what's going on? And the automated system is so dumb or whatever, it just was not helping. And then I get on the phone with them, and I end up calling the fire department myself, and I tell them the situation, and as like not even 5 minutes, they open up the door and they come out and they come check the car. And then even then them themselves, they're like, I've never heard of that. They've towed cars that were on freaking fire before. I don't understand why they would need us to come out. And so I had them talking to AAA or whatnot, and then I got a phone call seemed like from what it would be a higher up, and she said, yeah, that is policy. I'll go ahead and let the dispatcher know that they gave the okay. And so the next tow truck guy, he didn't have the lowering ramps for me. That was like a super big issue because I couldn't get the front bumper off, but luckily I did have tools that we could get it off. I was so thankful, you guys, because there was no way that we tried it before with the car was already aired up and everything. We tried to get it on, it wasn't working. So without me getting off that front bumper, and the guy actually being so patient and helpful, unlike the last guy, and just being honest with me and just even still trying, you know, because he could have denied it. Like, apparently, like, AAA sends out the assignments, and the tow truck companies, they could deny them if they don't want to. And my car is heavily modified, right? And so they could have just been like, nah, we don't want to be liable for this and whatnot. So big shout out to the second tow truck guy that came out and helped, and big shout out to, you know, my friends that kind of stuck around, like, and went with me through that. You know, I could have gone through that by myself and it would have sucked even more so, but like I said, we ended up getting the car back to Studio SAR later that night, and we're trying to figure it out now. So I'll keep you guys updated in terms of what is actually going on and how we're going to kind of go about it. I really appreciate every single one of you guys' support. So if this is you guys' first time to the channel, make sure you give this big thumbs up and please subscribe, because it really truly helps us out, you guys. Just trying to be along for the journey, you guys, and trying to be as transparent as possible, because I personally have never been through anything that's been going on, you guys, and so I just wanted to share my experiences with you guys. Anyways, that's all I got for this episode. Enough ranting on. I'll see you guys in the next one with an update. Make sure you guys live long and prosper. Later.